Discredit and destroy the deadliest weapon used by the world's biggest influencer, the media. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. Welcome to Queendom TV. We've been talking a lot about the media on this channel, guys, because the media is doing a whole madness if we're thinking about it, because they're just very unbiased and very unhelpful. And I've been looking into it because I talk about them a lot on my channel. And for me to be talking so much about people, it's only right that I do my research. Today, I'm going to be talking about how they use FLAC, which was mentioned by Noam Chomsky in their theory, the 5 filters of mass media, the 5 filters of the mass media machine, discussing, the real goals, purpose, and strategies of media today. Now, there's a lot in this, guys. So if you want the background as to how we got here, please check out the other videos in my playlist talking about this. Other than that, today we're going to get straight into the discrediting and the destroyal and the FLAC. And the reason why I want to do that is because I've talked in the past videos about how journalism is an important part. Critical journalism was one of the main focuses or aims of the media when it first started, and the news in general, and how we veered off of that. So for me to say discredit and destroy, obviously if people need to be discredited because that's the form of critique that needed to be used, then that's rightly so. But the reason why I've said it's the deadliest weapon now is because they've decided to use it when it suits them and only when it suits them. Because if we're discrediting people on all sides, whenever they need to be discredited, imagine how different the world would be. Imagine how different things would be on the news if every time they reported of a story, they reported exactly what happened and they used the exact same level of energy to discredit them, and it doesn't have to be discrediting because you don't always need to discredit something, but let's just say we kept the same energy of critique for every different thing that came up, then the world would be a very better place. A much better place. But the reason why we don't see that is because the media does choose to pick sides and to discredit and destroy certain people whilst letting other people get away with whatever they want them to get away with. And the reason why this is important, and the reason why I started to call the media influencers in this video, also because I touched on it in another video, is because that has an influence on what we think. And whether you want to hear this or not, for those of you people who have subscribed to my channel, you probably will be fine with what I'm about to say, right? If we look over at my dear friends over in the pond, I'll be joining you guys at very soon, the United States. In the previous election, the media took the opportunity to highly discredit and destroy one particular individual versus the other. Now, I would have had no issue if they had brought that same energy for the other person. However, a lot of the information that was, in fact, potentially even worse than the information given about the person they did decide to, discredit and destroy, I had to find out through other means. And a lot of that information is actually known, but it's treated as if it's nothing. So you have one person is being dragged for, supposedly saying certain things about women and supposedly doing certain things towards women. Meanwhile, another person is getting away with the fact that their child has been found to be having inappropriate sexual relations with underage Chinese girls. Can you guys understand where I'm coming from? And what I'm saying this, guys, this is not me. And I know because we live in such a sensitive world now, I can't even just make a statement. I can't even say the names of these two people without it being triggering. That's how bad the media is. All I am highlighting in here, all I'm doing, if you think about it, is critical journalism, which is saying, well, if we're going to critique this person, let's critique this person. Let's give them the same energy, because realistically, if the media is who they say they're supposed to be, that's what they should do, because then that gives you the right as a person to exercise your free will and say, well, okay, I actually don't mind that so-and-so did this and I want to go along with that. And I actually don't mind that so-and-so did this. I still want to vote for them. For yourself. Not make it such a big deal that this is now what we are doing. And especially, and I mentioned the situation in the United States in particular, because prior to all of this situation that's happening now, and this election, that person, the person who the media chose to destroy and discredit, right, was so popular, especially with people of color. In fact, well, at least with black people. I'll speak for black people. And so the fact that it's all of a sudden now everybody hates this person is very telling. And it just goes to show that this is absolutely a deadly weapon that they have. And the reason why I find this so unhelpful, guys, is because the truth is this is how I look at it. If everybody was to look into everybody's past and we could all watch each other's whole life as a series or as a movie, right? we would all be able to find things about everyone that we could pull up that would probably make us not want anybody to be a president or to be an influencer or to be anything. Now, of course, there are things that people can do, and especially if they're not remorseful, we're just like, well, you definitely can't have this role. But I do think that this whole idea is part of why cancel culture is so predominant in society now, because now we feel like we get to judge people. And I would just like to say that it would be interesting to see how people would be judged and how people would feel if before, in the same moment that you were going to judge somebody, they had the same right and information about you to judge you. It'd be very different. But the media doesn't care about that, because the media just knows that as long as you're taking in, you're consuming what they're giving you, and they're giving you exactly what they want to give you and picking a side. And again, I keep talking about how, they are picking sides in these things. And all they have to do on the media is say, I mean, think about it now, guys. Even when I'm like on Instagram and stuff, nowadays, even on YouTube, even on this video, for all I know, based on some of the words I used, you might be seeing the little thing popping up like, this information might be incorrect. If you want to have the correct information, please go to www.gov.this. Why? Because they want to make sure you're only consuming and believing what they're telling you. Because if you're using your free will, which everybody is claiming to have and everybody is fighting for, by the way, they want you to use it, but they just want you to use it for them. See what I mean? Anyways, if you want to hear what I have to say about the other stages of these 5 filters, please check out my other videos. Please check out my next video when I'm going to point out the final point, the final stage, the final step in these 5 filters, beautifully put together by Noam, as I mentioned. So subscribe if you would like to see those. Also, comment down below you guys' thoughts so far, what you guys feel about what I've been talking about. Also, hit the like button if you did like it. I'm going to be doing more videos, and I'm going to be talking in another separate video about the true goal, or I don't know what you want to call it, goal, aim. I'll put it together when I come up with the video, when I'll put it together when I put it in the title of the video, but really the true aim of the media and where the aims of the media are today and why you need to understand them. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. So that sometimes I'm a little bit all over the place. I'm a creative person. My brain's like this. So trying to just talk sometimes is a little bit challenging, but it's all good. I know you guys don't mind. So other than that, thank you for watching. God bless you all, and I'll see you in my next one. Goodbye.